Welcome to this video on the Autodesk Fusion sweep command. The sweep is, well, sort of an extrude, but then with a twist. Let's say extrude on steroids. We are currently looking at the front on the XZ plane. There's a line and an arc. These are going to function as the paths for our sweep. Here is the profile I like to sweep. It's drawn on the floor, the ground plane, the XY plane. So it's perfectly perpendicular to this vertical line. Let me start the sweep tool. It is here in the Create toolbar, and of course we can also click on the menu and find the sweep tool over there. It asks us to select a profile. I'm selecting the hexagon. Then it asks to select a path. I will select this line, and there we have it, our new sweep. And because the path is a straight line, it works exactly the same as an extrude. With the arrows that show, I can drag my sweep along the line, and I can even go further than the length of the line itself. It just follows that direction. And we could also type in numbers over here. These are actually a vector and not a specific dimension. So if I would go to the exact end of the line, we would see a 1 over there. If I would go to the middle of the line, I see a 0.5 over there. Just like with the extrude, we also have a taper angle. Let's do -10, and we get a sort of a pyramid right now, and also this bottom part starts to use that taper. We can of course also make that 0, and then we have a tower. What is special about the sweep command with relation to the extrude is this one, the twist angle. That's something that the extrude does not have. Let me fill in 120. And look what happened if I say OK, we can better see it. We have now a twisted tower. Well, in modern architecture, these are marvels. And here in Fusion, we can create them in just a couple of seconds. The great strength of the sweep tool comes to life when we use a curved path. I have drawn on the XY plane again, a hexagon. It's on the XY plane, which means it is not perpendicular to my path, but that doesn't matter. It can sweep this perfectly along this path. Let me open sweep tool, select our hexagon, select the path, and see what it does. Well, what it does is it starts with this, well, let's say 30-degree angle, and it keeps that angle 30 degree all along that path, which means that here at the top my hexagon is almost more than vertical. If this is what you want, fine, of course, it works perfectly well. More often what you do is make a drawing that is perpendicular to the path that you are going to follow. And we will do that in a minute, but first I like to show this orientation drop down. It is now on perpendicular, even though we are not. But if we put it on parallel, then what happens is this surface, this profile that we start with is horizontal, and it keeps it horizontal along the complete path. So here, also here at the top, it still is horizontal. And that can create interesting shapes if you, a sort of a banana in this case, if you are on the lookout for that, this is the way to go. Let's now have a look what happens if we have a profile that is perpendicular to the curve that we want to use. The first question is, how do I get a drawing perpendicular to an existing curve? Well, for that, luckily, there is this tool. In the construct menu, we have a plane along path. Let me click it, then select the path. And look what we get. We get a plane that we can move around on this path. We can see maybe that it also comes here exactly at that drawing that I already made. What you need to do next, of course, first click OK, is make a sketch. So start a sketch and then select that particular plane. And if we now draw a hexagon on that plane, or let me do a circle, then we can see the difference. I'm here at the middle of that plane. Let me draw this circle, finish the sketch, and look, there we have a second drawing, perpendicular, perfectly perpendicular along that path. Okay, let me close that down. Let me now start the sweep tool. Sweep, select the hexagon, select the path, and now we get a perfect hexagonal sweep along our curve, and this is what you would expect that would happen. And let's have a look what happens now if we choose not perpendicular but choose parallel, which means during the sweep it is going to keep our profile at this exact angle, and that means that at this point where my curve is parallel to the surface that I am sweeping around, then it cannot work anymore. So there ends our sweep, and we get a nice sort of an arrow shape. So this setting, perpendicular or parallel, it can do interesting things, be it that it is rather difficult to predict exactly what is going to happen on beforehand. So it's more experimenting than exactly knowing what you are doing. Another trick the sweep tool can do is that we can use a guide rail. I introduced a vertical line here. That is going to be our rail. I open the sweep tool again. Let's select our profile, select the path, and we are going to select over here path plus guide rail. Then I also have to select a guide rail, and look what happens. It tries to follow or at least stay close to that guide rail. In this case, because the guide rail was completely outside of the object, it does not touch the guide rail, but it stays on a distance, but it is a different shape than we would have without the guide rail. Let's move the guide rail inside our object. Oh, I cannot pick it up. Yeah, there it is. Let's now move it inside our profile. Let's see if that happens. Yeah, now it is in. Let's sweep again. Guide plus rail. Select the profile. Select the path. Select the path and select the rail. And now we should see a little bit different shape. It has now the guide rail inside, and it stays inside. It just deforms the whole profile that we selected such that it follows the path and the guide rail. Does the path always need to be a smooth curve, or can we also sweep along a path with sharp edges like over here when we want to make a rim here at the top and sweep it all around this hexagon? Let's first create a rim somewhere halfway here. We are going to use a construction surface, the plane along a path. Let me click this path, and there we have a nice new plane. Let me click OK. Start a sketch on that particular plane. Use the line tool, the L on the keyboard, and we are going to create a sort of a rim over here. More or less like this, and let me close that surface. Then we have what we want. Finish sketch, and there we have a profile that I now want to sweep along that whole top of the hexagon. Let me select this profile. Yes, let me select the path over here. It does not change the selection, even though I have placed a tick mark there. So I wonder if it goes on. No, it doesn't. It cannot join this, but maybe if I want to make a new body, yes, then it seems to work. Although the chain does not work, I have to click the whole thing, but it makes it quite well. Everything looks okay. This is, a job well done of the sweep feature in Autodesk Fusion. Thank you for watching. Maybe see you back in a future video. In the meantime, have fun.